What's going on YouTube? Your boy Theflightmike back again with another video, and today we're going to be diving into one of the most intriguing NBA conspiracy theories that I've ever heard of. Let's take you back to the 2009 to 2010 NBA season. The Los Angeles Lakers had just won their 15th NBA championship, and Kobe Bryant was fresh off of his first NBA Finals MVP. This was significant to him because this was his first championship without Shaq. To the dismay of many NBA fans, we were never able to see the 2009 NBA MVP, LeBron James, go up against Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals because of this guy, Dwight Howard. The 2009 to 2010 NBA season comes up, and we were all hoping for a Kobe versus LeBron NBA Finals by the end of the year. And you could tell LeBron James had one thing on his mind, and it was just to do that. In the very first game of the NBA season, he had this 38-point performance and had 8 assists to go with it as well. LeBron just looked like he was poised to dominate the league and firmly place the crown on his head and rise as King James. And the number one storyline around this time, around the Cleveland Cavaliers, was the fact that LeBron James desperately needed help. He had a starting five that composed of Zydrunas Ilgauskas or Shaquille O'Neal, Mo Williams, and Delonte West. And off the bench, he had players like Daniel Gibson coming up to help him as well. So the Cleveland Cavaliers did eventually get him help in the form of Antoine Jameson. With all this help, he was able to drag the Cleveland Cavaliers to the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. So the playoffs begin, and the Cleveland Cavaliers continue their run of dominance. They destroy the young Derrick Rose-led Chicago Bulls, winning 4-1 in the first round series. LeBron would elevate his game past MVP status, posting 32 points, 8.2 assists, and 9.2 rebounds on 55% shooting. The Cavaliers would then advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals to meet the Boston Celtics and their aging dynamic Big Three. That included Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. At the end of 3 games, LeBron and the Cavaliers, it looked like once again they were going to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. However, if you were watching this series, you know what happens next. The Cavaliers would go on to lose the next 3 games. LeBron James got a lot of blame for this because the first 3 games of the series, he was killing it. He was shooting 53% from the field. During the second half of the series, he was just shooting 33% from the field. This was followed by LeBron James's infamous scene where he took off the Cleveland Cavaliers jersey for the final time as he lost to the Boston Celtics. Announcers said stuff like, "This could be the last time we see LeBron James in a Cavaliers jersey." So this brings up the all-important question, did the great LeBron James just crack under the pressure, or did the Boston Celtics just adjust to LeBron's dominance? What a lot of people thought at the time was LeBron James was just exhausted and he was tired. At that point, he was just burnt out, or he was just doing it to protest, or he actually just wanted to lose so he had an exit to go to the Miami Heat later on. But another storyline came about during this time, and this is an additional scenario, and the scenario goes like this. Something sapped LeBron James of his confidence and his focus. So what could have stopped the NBA's rising star, the most unstoppable player we've ever seen in the NBA since Michael Jordan? What could have stopped LeBron James in his path to greatness in the NBA playoffs? And that's his teammate, Delonte West. So I don't know if you guys know who Delonte West is. And if you guys don't know who Delonte West is, let me give you guys a little bit of a background. Delonte West was the 24th overall pick in the 2004 NBA draft. He spent his first 3 years with the Boston Celtics and then a year with the Seattle Supersonics, but he was most known for this 3-year stretch with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He played as a shooting guard, although he was more of a point guard alongside LeBron James, and for the most part he was a fairly decent role player, and he actually had some funny YouTube internet clips like this.
And of course, the night that the leather ball is back in the NBA, and Greg had a chance to talk with some of the Celtics about it earlier. Listen in.
I never really paid that much attention to it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a player. I'm a player, Greg. And I just play with whatever they put. If we're going to play with a sock, we're going to play with a sock.
And he was pretty much like a 10 points per game player. He averaged something like 44 to 46% shooting from the field. He was really not that amazing of a player, but he was decent at that. So after the series concluded and the Cavaliers were eliminated, tips began to flood into Deadspin and several other websites. And most of them reported consistent information from several sources that Delonte West had been in a sexual relationship with with LeBron James's mother, Gloria James, for a decent amount of time. And all of the sources also reported that somehow LeBron had just actually recently discovered this affair right before Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Boston Celtics, destroying the entire chemistry of the team. And an independent sports reporter named Terez Owens published an article on his blog with similar reports in 2010. However, not long after the article was published, it was then updated by Terez with the subtext, "Update, LeBron James's lawyer just sent a cease and desist." And if you feel like most of these sources weren't that legitimate, well, Colin Cowherd would actually confirm these reports on his radio show during his time with ESPN, much to his network's dissatisfaction. But luckily for us, the only person that is in charge of my content is myself, so we can make as much controversial content on this channel as we can. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like, because to make matters worse for Delonte and LeBron, former NBA great and Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy would then go on air for a sports talk show and emphatically confirm the rumor of Delonte West and Gloria James's affair. Murphy would say that he had several legitimate sources, and to make things even more scandalous, would go on to claim that Delonte was far from the only active NBA player that Gloria was ever involved with. Now, Calvin Murphy hasn't exactly had a squeaky clean past himself, having failed to produce a single character witness when he was put on trial for allegedly sexually assaulting 5 of his 14 children. At the time, LeBron was at work denying these allegations, sending out cease and desist letters to any news source that does report this information, and LeBron would send his friend and representative Maverick Carter in front of the press to deny the rumors and dismiss them as just that, rumors. However, Delonte West would wait a whole 2 years before speaking on the subject. And when he finally did speak up, he had this to say to the Dallas Morning News: "If we want to continue to grow as a human race, what are we teaching our kids if we try to make humor and fun out of stuff like that? Number one, something like that never happened. I don't know where they got that from. For a strong black woman like that, for people to try to tear her down, that's terrible. That's terrible in so many ways. Fact or rumor, the damage was already done to the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. After the betrayal of his mother and his teammate, LeBron James would take his talents to South Beach for a more comfortable situation with his 2 trusted friends, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, neither of whom would ever even think about touching Gloria James. The Cavaliers would completely sever ties with Delonte West for costing them their hometown hero. He would then sign a 1-year deal with the Boston Celtics before bouncing to the Dallas Mavericks, then having a couple of runs in the D-League, and then eventually going to China. Fast forward to 2015, and Delonte West would send out a tweet saying this. Now, something behind the scenes must have obviously gotten to him or upset him, because in the coming months, Delonte would begin to speak his truth, putting out this post on Instagram saying, "Since King James wants to talk bad about his pops, I had to repost this. Hashtag ha, hashtag nah, really though, I'm LeBron's pops. Hashtag ask Gloria." If we conclude that this post is legitimate, Delonte himself is finally confirming all the sources and media personalities that he had sex with Gloria James. We all know how this story ends, however. LeBron James ultimately won 2 championships in Miami and delivered his first championship in over 50 years to his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the only NBA Finals MVP to lead his team back from a 3-1 deficit in an NBA Finals. But it is Delonte West who sent the kid from Akron, Ohio to South Beach. It is Delonte West who potentially cost the favored Cleveland Cavaliers the 2010 NBA championship. It was Delonte West, a career 9.6 points per game scorer, who decided winners from losers and changed the NBA landscape forever. And that's all because he couldn't keep it in his pants. A lot of you guys would ask me, Mike, do you actually believe this story is true? And my answer is no. I don't think this story is true whatsoever. I just thought it made for a great story. And I'll tell you why I don't think this story is true. Delonte West is a player who has a history of mental illness. In fact, there's this one picture of him wandering around a parking lot without shoes in 2016 once his career kind of fell off. Delonte West struggles with depression and other mental illnesses, and I really hope he does get the help he needs. But I honestly don't think LeBron James's mother would sleep with a guy like Delonte West, and I do think Delonte West is just trying to, have a vice grip on his one claim to fame, which is sleeping with one of the greatest players in the NBA's mom. So I really don't think the story is true, but let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think the story is true? Do you think LeBron James left Cleveland because of this story? Why or why not? What's the one thing that's making you believe this story? Besides that, I'm your boy, The Flight Mike, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.